OpenAI just released the Codex app, and what many are already calling the Claude Code Killer, is an impressive piece of software. It's quickly becoming one of the most talked about releases in AI for developers this year, so far at least. Right now, it's only available on macOS, but even with that limited rollout, the app already feels like a major step forward in how coding assistants are supposed to work. Instead of being just another chat window, Codex is designed to fit into a real developer workflow. You can ask it to generate code from scratch, refactor existing files, explain confusing sections of a codebase, and debug errors with way more context than typical copy-paste prompting. It can help you write features end-to-end, suggest better architecture, and even clean up your code to match style conventions. What's especially impressive is how it handles multi-step tasks. You can assign a goal, such as, build a login flow, connect this app to an API, or optimize this function. And it can break the work into steps, implement changes, and iterate with you as you review the output. It feels less like AI that answers questions, and more like an assistant that helps you ship. And that's why people are calling it a potential Claude Code Killer, because if OpenAI keeps improving Codex at this pace, it could become the default tool developers rely on daily. But what makes Codex truly distinct isn't just that it can write code, it's how it's designed to work like an actual development system, not a chat toy. The Codex app is structured around the idea that coding isn't a single prompt and response moment. Real software work involves multiple steps: planning, implementing, testing, debugging, refactoring, documenting, and repeating that cycle until the feature is stable. Codex is trying to compress that entire workflow into something you can manage inside one interface. One of the biggest differentiators is that Codex is built for multi-step, long-running tasks. Instead of asking for a snippet and moving on, you can ask it to complete something like, add a payments module, or build an onboarding flow, or fix these failing tests, and Codex is meant to work through that like an assistant that stays on the job. It's not just responding, it's iterating. And this is where the app experience matters. Because in the Codex app, the AI doesn't feel like a passive tool, it feels like a project collaborator. You can give it a goal, watch it execute, and then review the output like you're doing a code review on a teammate's pull request. That's a big shift in how AI coding tools are starting to operate. Now, feature-wise, Codex is clearly built to handle the things that usually slow developers down. First, context. Most coding assistants struggle when the task requires understanding multiple files at once: configuration files, dependencies, environment variables, project structure, naming conventions, and the why behind certain decisions. Codex is positioned to be stronger at reading and operating within the full codebase context, so it can make changes that actually fit the project, not just generate generic code. Second, refactoring and modernization. This is one of the most expensive types of work in software: cleaning up technical debt, migrating old patterns, and rewriting messy logic without breaking production. Codex is designed to help you refactor code safely, explain what it changed, and keep everything consistent across the project. That's huge, because refactoring is where many tools fall apart. They can write code, but they can't preserve the shape of a real codebase. Third, debugging. Codex can help interpret stack traces, reason through likely failure points, suggest fixes, and then rewrite the code accordingly. That sounds basic, but in practice, debugging is where developer time disappears. If Codex can reduce debugging time even by 20 or 30%, it becomes a tool teams can't ignore. And then there's the big one: workflow acceleration. Codex isn't just meant to make you code faster. It's meant to reduce friction between steps. You write a feature, then tests fail. Codex helps fix them. You fix the tests, but linting complains. Codex cleans it up. You clean it up, but documentation is missing. Codex writes it. This is the type of full-loop assistance developers have wanted for years, and it's why people are excited about the app specifically. Now let's talk about what people really care about. Can Codex actually be a Claude Code Killer? Here's the nuanced answer: Codex absolutely has the potential to compete at the top, but calling it a killer this early is premature. And the reason is simple: Claude Code has a massive head start in the market. Claude Code already has strong adoption among developers and teams because it's known for two things: strong reasoning and handling long context. Developers working in large codebases care about consistency, accuracy, and not losing the thread halfway through a complex task. Claude built a reputation for being dependable in those exact scenarios, and that's why it gained traction so quickly. And it's not just hype, the market itself is enormous. The AI coding assistant space has exploded in adoption. Multiple surveys show that a majority of developers now use AI tools in some form. Depending on the survey, anywhere from 70% to over 80% of developers report using AI-assisted coding regularly, not as a novelty, but as part of their workflow. That means the category isn't emerging anymore, it's already mainstream. And Claude Code is not a small player inside that mainstream market. It has a big market share, especially among developers who prioritize reasoning and reliability over flashy features. In other words, Claude isn't just popular, it's embedded. So if Codex wants to kill Claude Code, it has to do more than be impressive. It has to win on the things that matter most in production environments. Accuracy, consistency, security, enterprise readiness, and cross-platform availability. And that last point matters a lot. Codex launching only on macOS is a limitation. A huge portion of serious development happens on Linux, especially in back-end infrastructure and enterprise environments. Windows is also massive, especially for corporate engineering teams. So even if Codex is amazing, limiting launch to macOS immediately caps adoption. But here's the flip side, OpenAI doesn't need Codex to kill Claude Code to win. Because the real battle isn't about one tool wiping out the other. The real battle is about becoming the default assistant that developers trust. And OpenAI has a major advantage here, ecosystem reach. If Codex integrates tightly with ChatGPT, OpenAI's API ecosystem, and the broader tooling developers already use, it can grow extremely fast. And in product markets, distribution matters almost as much as quality. That's why this launch is important. It's not just OpenAI released another coding assistant. It's OpenAI saying, we're building a dedicated, professional-grade coding environment around AI agents. And if Codex continues improving, especially if it expands beyond macOS, strengthens reliability in big codebases, and becomes more integrated into real team workflows, then yes, it can absolutely become a serious threat to Claude Code. But right now, the most accurate take is this. Codex isn't a Claude Code killer yet. It's a Claude Code challenger, and maybe the first one with enough momentum, resources, and product ambition to actually force the market to shift. But that's it for us today. We hope you found this video useful. Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing to the channel for more updates.